before. They also hunt like wolves, very organized the way that they pack together and they go after their prey. Pretty impressive. You see all the exposed lava that you're looking at. Folks, this comes from Mount Hualalai. That's the third largest volcano on the Big Island, next to Mauna Kea and Mauna Loa. Believe it or not, everything you're looking at was once on the surface of the Big Island and became submerged at the turn of the last ice age 18,000 years ago.
Wow.
Well, we have arrived at Act 2. This is the Predator coming into view. A beautiful shipwreck. It's 75 feet long, a World War II Higgins transport unit. This boat was used popularly by the Allied forces as an amphibious attack vehicle. It had the capacity to run up onto the beaches and drop its bow door so men and equipment could immediately begin their attack. This particular boat was converted into a salvaging vessel after the war. That's that large crane arm you can see up there on top of it. It was used to pick up debris and dunnage that had fallen off the boats from above. It's kind of ironic since it's the largest unsalvageable chunk of junk down here. But it's not trash to these animals. It's a beautiful artificial reef. It's a permanent home for most of the creatures that you see right now. They'll spend their entire lives right here. They make no distinction between the boat or the living coral. They have everything that they need. They feed off the algae that grows on the outside of the boat. They have a place to hide away from predators, and they also have a place to lay their eggs. So try to see it as a giant Mall of America for these fish. What is this? That's a little dolphin that's floating right there on the bow. You'll notice that. It's serving as a current indicator. We call him Captain Kailua. Now what he's doing is that little dolphin is actually telling your pilot exactly how the underwater current is flowing. Just as there are giant waves on the surface of the ocean, there are huge waves down here below. You just can't see them. And so we have to be able to know exactly the magnitude and the direction that those waves are flowing so that we can compensate the submarine for maneuverability. We want to get you close to the shipwreck, not become one. Now this boat, believe it or not, is painted blood red, and if you look right close to the bow, you might be able to make out the old faded shark's teeth they painted on it. It took on water during a tropical storm close to around 20 years ago and sank fairly quickly, and it settled down here on the lip of a crescent moon-shaped canyon at around 96 feet. There are a few creatures I want to identify for you. You want to look for the yellow-lined goatfish there in the belly of the beast. This is normally a benthic creature, a bottom feeder. Oh, there's an aku right there. A large predator fish coming up underneath the submarine. But the yellow-lined goatfish, the veke, are very delicious. If you get a chance to have some veke, make sure you take advantage of it. The yellow-lined goatfish, they have barbels on their chins, which allow them to search in the sands to find their food source. Be mindful of the veke because they have a distant cousin known as the veke pueo, which is the owl veke. Now, they are very distinguishable because they have black or black reddish and white stripes on their tails. Now, the veke pueo or the owl veke is not such a good eat because it has a mild toxin which causes a hallucinogenic or it can create night terrors. So make sure you're getting the right type of fish when you order it here in Hawaii. You never know what you're going to get. Look at the brown fish hanging out above the engine room, the little guys with about the size of a quarter with a clear translucent tail. That's an endemic species found here in Hawaii known as the chocolate-dipped damselfish. Now, they are highly aggressive. If you were swimming on that boat right now, they would swarm upon you, attack you, and pluck all the hairs out of your body. They do that because they use your hairs and whatever else they can find to build nests, and they want you to stay very far away from those nests. Those are all males that you see right there. The females are pelagic. They're moving around all the time. Now, the males will make these very pretty nests anywhere in the coral or on this boat, and then they invite the females to lay her eggs. Well, she chooses the best nest, of course, and after she's done laying her eggs, she goes and announces the winner. He goes down to fertilize the eggs, and he comes back, and she swam away forever, leaving him to tend to the entire brood all by his lonesome. Now, I think that's why the chocolate-dipped damselfish is so aggressive. I don't know. What do you think? Check out the vana, the long, black, spiny sea urchin. Now, out these depths, they can get to be about the size of a basketball. Now, I know they look harmless, but if you get those spines in your skin, folks, it takes about 3 weeks to work them out. It's going to ruin your vacation. Many people go to the emergency room every day because of the vana. The pain is excruciating. Now, it can be helped using the same home remedy you use for a jellyfish sting, except it takes about 8 more people. That's a weird party, so I would stay away from the vana. Alright, well that concludes Act 2, The Predator. You like that shipwreck, don't you, folks? Yeah, it's pretty cool. You don't get to see things like that every day of your life. Well, I do, actually, but you don't. We're going to make our way out to deeper waters. As we do, as I remind you, Act 3 is The Lady. I promised you a little romance. It is Shakespeare all the way. So let's get with the Romeo and Juliet of the reef. That is the longnose butterfly fish. You want to find a little yellow fish with a black or blue triangle eye and a long white snout. It's actually not a snout, it's a modified mouth that the fish uses as a proboscis to probe the reef for food. The longnose butterfly fish is easy to spot because you'll always see 2 of them together. At a very early stage in their development, the longnose butterfly fish chooses a mate, and the 2 of them will stay together their entire lives. If one of them should die or disappear, the other one will starve itself out. So they're literally the Romeo and Juliet of our reef. But one of the real reasons we like this fish is because we love to share with you our Hawaiian language. This fish has the longest Hawaiian name of any animal in our waters. Does anybody know this 23-letter Hawaiian name? You know that. Nobody knows. Humo nuku nuku apua'a, right? Is that what you're thinking? Yeah, that's not right. That's a good guess, though. Good guess. That's only 21 letters. Long name, though, yeah? 21 letters is humu humu nuku nuku apua'a. That's our Hawaii stinkfish, right? That's the Picasso triggerfish. Now, he likes shallow waters. Humu humu nuku nuku apua'a translates to, I am the fish with a face that looks like a pig. I guess his mother didn't love him very much. Aww. No, the longnose butterfly fish has an even longer name, believe it or not. Are you ready for this? It's the Lau Willy Willy Nuku Nuku Oi Oi. There you go. That's 2 letters more than Humu Humu Nuku Nuku Apua'a. Lau Willy Willy Nuku Nuku Oi Oi translates to, I am the fish that looks like the leaf of the Willy Willy tree with a long, long nose. Yes, ma'am. Good question. We have some fish that are living on the submarine. We're actually their permanent home. We left this submarine one day because of technical difficulties out in the middle of this bay. And somebody slept here overnight just to guard this $8 million investment. And when we came back the next morning, it was covered in these tiny little momos, or this Hawaiian sergeant fish. At that time, they were about the size of your pinky nail. Little bitty tiny fish all over the place. Now, over the last 8 months, a school of about, what I would say was close to 80 has been dwindled to about 18. And that's natural selection for you. As they began to grow older and get to be about the size of your thumb, it became our job to rush up onto the surface every time we brought the sub up and try to save as many as we could, because they would come up on top of the sub and flop on the deck up there. We saved as many as we could, threw them back in the water every time, but we were never able to get them all. As they became about the size of your palm, well, then they became nice little snippets for larger fish, such as mackerel and other hardtail fish that would come by and eat them. And so these are the survivors. These are the guys that have made it so far.